Hi, it's Kassy, and today we are going to make a Halloween lantern using some awesome Grafix products. So we've got metallic foil board here we're going to use in silver, and also the two-sided matte film from Duralar. Alright, so let's get going. I've got the Cricut Maker 3 set up. I've got the metallic foil board in silver loaded in the mat, and I've got the file on my computer ready to go. For cutting this metallic foil board, I prefer to use heavy cardstock setting on default pressure. I would highly recommend, with whatever cutting machine you're using, to do a test cut first, because all machines will be different. Even if you also have a Maker 3, you might have a slightly different setting to cut your material. Okay, so just keep that in mind, but heavy cardstock does work for me. So I've chosen heavy cardstock on my computer here. It is getting ready to cut. And now I am ready to start cutting. I just press the play button. And again, you can use whatever electronic cutting machine you have. The file I'm using is an SVG file. It can be found in Kassy's Parlor Etsy store. And there will be a link below in the description if you want to purchase and cut this file out for yourself. It's really fun and easy to do. Okay, so now all the pieces have been cut out, and I have 4 pieces of the matte Duralar, okay, and 4 rectangles, excuse me, so they will fit in the windows of these. We're going to set these aside for now so that they don't get messed up in this next step. We have our 2 larger panels here, as you can see. Really awesome. I'm so excited to put this together. Really fun, interesting patterns here. So before I put it all together and make the lantern, I want to add a little bit of alcohol ink to it, and I've got 3 different colors of Briareese alcohol ink. It's Fog, Mars Black, and Slate, and this is just going to give it like a wrought iron distressy kind of feel, so it's not so perfectly shiny and silver. So I'm just going to show you there before. Okay, and so I'm going to bring in a mat here to work on. It's just a surface to keep my table clean, and we're going to work on one at a time. Okay, so I'm going to bring in one of the panel pieces that have been cut out, and I've got a pouncing tool with a felt tip on it. I've got a few extra felt tips, and we're just going to play with the alcohol ink. There's really no wrong way to do this. I like to open all 3 or all the colors I'm going to use and sort of just have them ready to go so I can do what I gotta do. Alright, so I'm starting with the lightest color, which is called Fog, and I'm going to add a little bit of the medium gray, which is Slate. And I'm just going to pounce. To start, I'm just pouncing normally. It's a very subtle look right now. I'm going to add a little bit more of the medium color and just a little bit of the lighter color. The lighter color, when it's applied, it gives it kind of like a milky, smoky kind of look, and it makes it look really aged. So that's why I'm adding some more of that, just you know, even though it really doesn't have a large color effect. And I'm just dabbing because that is going to give it more of that wrought iron look. Really awesome. It might be hard to see in the camera, and I'll bring it closer so you can see how it looks before I add the black. I'm going to add the black very specifically and not very much. It is obviously a strong color, but it is going to add a little bit more contrast and dimension. but I want to be really controlled about how I'm adding it. So I'm just starting with these 2 lighter colors, working my way around. Wow, this looks so cool. Let's see if I can bring it up closer to show you a little bit of what's going on. You can kind of see in this gravestone kind of the effect that it's having. Just makes it look really kind of weathered and worn. Okay, and so I'm going to take this off and we'll add the black on a new felt tip or felt pad here. And this is called Mars Black. And I'm just doing a little bit, and I'm just going to dab here and there. Okay, it's pretty strong. I think what I want to do, hold on, let's just keep going this way for a minute. It's not how I want it to be in the end, so just bear with me. This is just a process here. So I'm adding some black, definitely to add some contrast, but it just looks like it's kind of blotches of black here and there, right? So I'm going to go over it with slate now. I'm going to cover most of the pad, and let's see what we get, okay? I'm going to go back over the areas where I did the black already, and it is breaking it up a little bit more. It is making it a little darker, and remember too that this is going to be all folded up, and so it's going to look a little different. Oh, this is turning out really well. Okay, so I'm just going to keep adding this medium gray and not any more black, because the black is such a strong color, which I knew it would be, but you just need to keep working it until it feels good, until you get the effect that you want. And this is looking really good. Okay, I think I'm pretty happy with the way that it looks. This is a lot more dramatic now. Definitely can see more of that black. Looks really, really cool. Okay, so I'm going to set this one aside, and then we're going to do the same thing now to this other panel. So I could have done both panels at the same time. You definitely could do that. I just wanted to experiment a little bit first with this first one and kind of get the technique down that I wanted to use. But you definitely could do it the other way, and then you would only use two felt pads. But these are really inexpensive and you know, easy to replace. So I'm just going to keep going, keep adding. When it feels like you're not getting much of application of the alcohol ink, then you just want to add a little bit more. And I'm telling you, this middle gray is really nice. You could even do this with colors. I mean, if you wanted to make it more purple or orangey, or you know, something like that, and festive in a different way, if you're, you know, making this particular Halloween lantern, you can use different colors. You really could use any kind of alcohol ink you want on here. Okay, so I've got pretty good coverage, got that nice smoky feel. So now I'm going to get a new felt pad, and I'm going to start again with just the black. Okay, just a few drops of it here, a few dots, and again, just randomly going here and there to get started. Making sure I'm hitting all of the different elements here, but in a kind of random pattern. Okay, and then I'm going to come back with the medium gray and cover that black completely and really just kind of saturate it. And now I'm going back over where I did the black to move it around a little bit more, make it look a little bit more distressy, and oh, this is so cool. I'm really excited. This is going to turn out really nice. Very, very cool. Okay, add a little bit more of the medium, and you just keep going till you're happy. Okay, that looks really good to me. So I'm going to clean up my area here, and then we'll put it all together. Okay, so now we have our two panels decorated. They look fabulous. And I'm also going to use some artist tack now to stick the windows into the openings here. And remember, this is the matte Duralar, okay? So because there are a lot of intricate cuts in here, especially like in this tree and stuff, the artist tack is going to be a really great way to make sure you get good adhesion all over, but not have it show through any of this this cut piece. So that's what I'm going to use here. And basically artist tack is just a sheet of a bunch of sticky dots. So I'm going to lift up from the corner. Okay, and the dots are on this side, so I'm going to lay that side down. And because this is such a large piece here, I'm not going to take it all the way off, but I really need to lift it up most of the way. And we'll start with this one. Actually, let's let that one dry a little bit more. It does take a minute to dry because I put a lot of alcohol ink on here, but it's not a big deal. So I'm just going to lay this down. And then you put the top sheet back over and you just kind of rub all over. Make sure you get good coverage of those dots. Kind of burnish all around. Okay, and then lift it. And then lift your piece off. And it will have wonderful sticky dots all over the back of it. All right, and then I need to do the same thing to this half here because you know, the sheet wasn't quite large enough to get it all. So I'm going to go up here where I know there's some more dots, and I'm just going to stick that part down. And then lift it up and carefully, I'm not usually working with a piece quite this large, but it definitely works. Very careful. All right, move this sheet out of the way. Now I'm going to have this flipped upside down, and we'll take our first piece of matte Duralar here, and we're just going to make sure this is laying nice and flat, and we're going to line up. You just want to make sure it's going to cover the entire window and be in between those dotted lines, because that is where, hold on. Shoot. Gotta be real careful here. You can make sure that middle part is nice and flat and straight. There we go. Okay, and just give it a nice burnish. Now you do have some sticky around the edge, so that's okay. This we're going to, you know, be sticking to the other piece, so it's fine. But we just want to make sure that this is all covered. Okay, then we're going to do the same thing with the next piece of matte Duralar. Maybe I'll go from the bottom this time. And you just want to make sure I've designed the windows here to be about, you know, 1/8 to 1/4 inch around the edges so that you've got some wiggle room. Okay, and you just want to make sure you've got a nice frosty window. All right, so then we'll flip this over and look at that. Ooh, this is exciting. It's coming together well. So we'll do the same thing for the second panel here. I'm going to get a fresh sheet of artist tack, but I'm not going to throw this one away. This one still has a lot of dots on it. Anywhere there wasn't, you know, paper, that metallic board is going to still have dots. So I can still use it, but because this is a large piece, I'm going to want to get a fresh sheet. And then I just put this one in the back so that I know it's still got some sticky dots left that can be used, and I don't need to waste it. So actually this time, I didn't think of this, but I could go this way. So there we go. We're going to go sideways this second time. Same thing. All right, find where your dots are when you lift and pull back your protective sheet. And then we'll just stick this right down. Okay, good enough. Doesn't have to be straight or anything. All right, and then burnish. Pick up all those little dots. Look how easy and just effortless this is. I mean, I couldn't imagine doing it any other way, honestly. It would just take forever to get adhesive in all the right spots, and it would be messy. So the Artist Tech is very, very helpful. Okay, and then just carefully, because this is kind of an intricately cut piece, especially this tree, I would say pull from the trunk, but then, you know, be careful of these little pieces, especially that little spider. There we go. And you're going to get a few of these sticky dots on your fingers. They rub off really easily. I've got some on my fingers here. So I'm just going to set that upside down, and then I just rub my fingers together and they roll right off. Crafty tip for you. Okay, we've got 2 more windows here. We're going to do the same thing we did before. I feel like working from the bottom up was a little bit easier for me, so I'm going to try it that way again. You just want to make sure that you are straight enough and centered enough so that you will have good coverage when you get to the top. There we go. Perfect. And then make sure it's really stuck where your die cut piece is in the center. And last one. I'm so excited. Woo! Okay. Once again, making sure you're centered and you leave yourself enough space on the top and bottom, and then just lay it flat. Really sticking down, especially like where that spider and some of those smaller pieces are. You don't want those kind of hanging loose or floating because they could tear. Okay, so now we have this piece done as well. So now we really just need to fold it and put it together. You're going to see perforation lines in the middle of both panels and on the edge. The middle obviously is to fold to make our lantern, and then the edge is our tab to stick to the other panel. So I'm just going to fold all these perforation lines in. Okay, and then I'm going to put this tape that's here from the Artist Tech is, you know, it's been touched a lot and it's not super sticky anymore. Not enough to really hold it down. So I've got some double tack mounting film here, and the beauty of this adhesive, and the reason why I like having Artist Tech and the double tack mounting film, is because they're similar but different. This is a full sheet of adhesive with protective cover on the front and back, but it's solid adhesive, not dots. So that's why I like this one for this purpose. I can cut the piece as the exact shape and size that I need it to be, and it's going to hold really, really well. So I just cut a strip here, and I'm going to peel back one side of the protective film. Okay, and then you'll find the sticky, and then you're just going to stick it down to the inside of your tab here. Alright, burnish it really well, get it nice and stuck, and then peel off the other side. So now I've just got a line of adhesive here, and the goal is to stick this together, right? So we need to line up this second panel with the edge of that tab, so it's kind of where the where that perforated line is, and you want to make sure that your bottoms are lined up. So I would recommend laying this flat and making sure that you've got a nice straight line here, okay? And then we're going to fold it over. And then we're going to do the same thing to this side. So now we've got one long piece, and I'm going to cut one more strip of the double tack mounting film. Make sure I have a good length. And do the same thing. We're just going to peel back. Okay. Put it on the inside of the tab. making sure you're covering most of that tab, top to bottom. And then peel back the protective layer on top. And then we're going to take the end of our lantern here, fold it nice and flat, and fold over. All right, this is going to make it nice and sturdy. Here we go. And I'm just making sure all the sides are folded. And there we are. That is our lantern. So now you've got a fun Halloween pattern on each side. And all you have to do is put in, I would use an electric candle, you know, like a battery operated candle. You can get them at the dollar store, lots of places. Put this on your mantle or anywhere you decorate for Halloween, and you'll have a really easy to make, fun project made with Grafix products. So just to recap, we used double tack mounting film, we used artist tack for adhering this all together, and we made the construction of the lantern with the two-sided matte film from Duralar and the metallic foil board in silver. And then we also used some alcohol ink to decorate and stylize this just a little bit. So I hope that you found some inspiration today and enjoyed this project. And if you'd like more inspiration, please visit grafix.com and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.